Terra Insure Group post-game show. Blue Jays win at final score over the Ponca City Wildcats, 28-14. Blue Jays with two late defensive scores in this one. A scoop and score by Dominic Gooseby and a pick six return for Marcellus Owens is the difference here tonight after a sloppy first half just because of the weather out there. No fault of the team. The ball was wet. The field was wet. But the Blue Jays come through to go to 3-0 on the season. Time now to go downstairs with Phil Nichols with tonight's successful head football coach once again, and Coach Kelly Beeby.
Guys, I am here with head football coach Kelly Beeby. Coach, we were talking with Dom. I think that's 8 touchdowns so far in the season your defense has given you, and, great ball game. You were telling everybody all week that would listen, this is not what we're used to seeing from Ponca. This is going to be a good football game. And, boy, it was a whale of a football game.
Well, I just first of all, I want to say hats off to Scott Harmon, Ponca City. They're a completely different football team than they were a year ago. I jokingly, our kids said it, but we will definitely talk about it more on Monday. We had a little bit of a letdown this week. We started school on Tuesday. Schedules got changed. We felt like we had 2 big-time wins over Shawnee and Enid, and I think that they, in the back of their mind, didn't think Ponca could come in here and do this. And, I tried to stress to him, I know this coach, I know the mentality he'll bring, and they're going to try to line up and dominate us. And I thought we were very fortunate to only be 7-0 at half, and went in and made some good adjustments at halftime, we felt like, based on what they were doing offensively and defensively, challenged the kids a little bit, and, made a dogfight out of it. I think we scored 14 in the first 6-7 minutes of the third, and then came up with a couple of huge plays there, Dom's play, and CJ had a pick down here off Hector's deflection, and the defensive line just got challenged. And, of course, we were out the services of our Willie linebacker, Trevay Williams, tonight, who's a big old kid in the middle. So we had a lot of things that we were facing tonight, and we looked like we were facing adversity in the first half. In the second half, we looked like we came out to battle and let the chips fall, and luckily they fell in our favor.
Coach, you hit on it just a second ago about only being down 7-0 at halftime and feeling fortunate for that. And that's because Ponca City, after they took the ball to start the game, they had field position the entire first half. Even after they scored the first time, that's a tribute to your defense that you were playing with your backs against the wall the entire first half, field position-wise, only gave up 7 points.
Yeah, they scrapped around pretty good. Their pass protection was good. Quarterback had a quick release. And so as far as our progression as a football team, this was an outstanding football game for us to be in. 3-0 going into a bye week, get healed up a little bit, got some ankles and, 3-game-in injuries, and, work some fundamentals and get back to work. But, defensively, I thought our kids they really battled because they were seeing an animal that they haven't seen very much, which is power, counter, and lead, and then they mix in some jet concepts and do a good job offensively. So very, very good developmental game for us. Proud of all the coaches. Again, the halftime adjustments were outstanding. We came right out and scored, to turn the ball game around. Got some 3-and-outs and turnovers to get this, back in 14-all.
Well, and you mentioned power, counter, lead, and not having seen that from Ponca City in the past, Coach. And you mentioned the progression of getting better. And you got to like the fact that you got to face that against a very physical team in Ponca before you go into a Piedmont team that's going to run a very similar offense, at least they have in the past to that.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Piedmont. I may be the only guy that was not looking past this ball game. I'm going to start work on them probably tomorrow. Just as far as getting some information and looking around. I don't know how they did tonight. They had Weatherford. But just we're in a really good place right now. And, steel sharpens steel. And the adversity we face tonight will only help us.
Coach, talk about Guthrie down 14-7, get the ball inside Ponca City's 5-yard line. Jackson to Marcellus to Brody on that 8-yard touchdown pass. Talk about that great play call.
Well, again, Coach Mick, he gets in tune with these guys and gets situations set up, and these guys, Coach Rice, Coach Michoud, Coach Sanders, they practice these situations and scenarios, all week long, waiting for the right moment. We had another opportunity earlier in the game and wound up having to call a timeout for fixing to delay a game off a sudden change. So, that doesn't happen in the 5 seconds in between plays. That happens on Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, when those guys are repping those and trying to create the perfect situation to run them. So that's preparation, meeting effort and very successful. And that was a huge play huge play.
Coach, I mentioned it to Dom earlier when we were talking to him in our conversation, but obviously you play the 0 week, which means you get the bye, which is kind of neat in high school football. We never used to do that, but It's always best to go into that bye week off a win, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. You know, the first year we did it, we won. The second year we did it, we lost. And I thought it was the dumbest thing we ever did. And this year we did it, and we were fortunate enough to win. So I think it was a pretty smart thing right now. You know, it's all second guessing, but and I want to say something about our student section and our crowd on a rainy night. You know, whoever came here tonight, I think got to see a whale of a football game. Both sides,
Best game of the year.
Both sides, very physical. More good things to come. We just got to continue to improve, continue to work, lift them weights, run them sprints, study the film, and take it one game at a time.
Coach, one last thing. I know you need to give props to your athletic director, John Chappell. The amount of work that he had to put in today, starting with the cross country that he had this morning, ending with, I think he mowed the field at 3 o'clock this afternoon. He was like a drowned rat all day long. He just ran around to get this thing ready. Give him some credit.
Here's the deal with Chap. You can always tell if Chap's coming to work. If he's coming to work, he's got on tennis shoes, short pants. And if he's coming to AD and sit in his office, he's got on his penny loafers. So I felt good. He has a pair. He had some moccasins or something on yesterday because he wasn't doing anything because he'd worked all day long the day before. So every once in a while he takes that advantage of being the AD and he sits in the office for a little bit. But no, he had his tennis shoes on today. And you guys know, every time I get a chance, I say something about Chap because, I mean, Chap is Guthrie, and Chap cares more about the kids of Guthrie probably than he does himself, and does everything he can. And he's tireless in that effort, you know, and we're blessed to have him.
Piedmont looks like they're getting ready to get that first win, 21-10. Less than a minute left in the fourth quarter, and Carl Everett and Dell City are in overtime, 25-25.
Wow, okay.
So a couple good games there, and I know you got a couple of weeks to get ready for them. Enjoy the off week, Coach. I know you guys got a lot of homework and a lot of stuff to get ready.
Absolutely.
But congratulations on a 3-0 start against 6A schools too, Coach. I mean, it's not just anybody. It's a much improved Ponca City Ball Club that you saw tonight, and so 3 great wins to begin the season. Non-district. Now the true season begins here in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. We're going to just want to thank you guys for all you do, getting our name out there for our kids and helping out the community. And we're going to enjoy the heck out of this one, and we'll be back to work on Monday.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, fellas.
Head Coach Kelly Beeby here on the Terra Insure Group post-game show as the Blue Jays take down the Ponca City Wildcats. Final score 28-14. As you heard, Coach Beeby and the Blue Jays will have a bye week this week, and then they'll get set for the Piedmont Wildcats on the road to begin district play.